Hi, it's Jeff Wade here at stockideas.org, and I just want to do another quick finance video book review for you today. And right now we're going to look at A Capitalist's Lament by Leland Faust, How Wall Street is Fleecing You and Ruining America. Those are pretty big claims, don't you think? So in summary, this book is, basically exactly what it sounds like. It's written by a capitalist, Leland Faust. He was an individual investment advisor who founded a company called CSI Capital Management. I believe they have about 1.5 billion under management. He's been featured prominently in all sorts of financial news media, the New York Times, Barron's, the Wall Street Journal. He kind of checks all the boxes. So it's certainly neat that this book is written by a capitalist, and as the subtitle sort of insinuates, he's really not that big of a fan of the current capitalist system. The book kind of reads like a toned-down version of The Great Deformation by David Stockman, which I also did a video book review on this channel, so you can find that. And it's also kind of has some hints of the old classic book Where Are the Customers' Yachts by Fred Schwed Jr., which I've also reviewed here, and you can check that out. Kind of in the vein of both of those books, this one really is summarizing a lot of the issues, the conflicts, the less than honest, sort of characteristics that kind of are representative or found in a lot of the ways that Wall Street and the greater financial services industry as a whole work. He talks about, in terms of sort of conflicts of interest, how, investment managers are a lot of the times kind of gambling and taking risks with other people's money. He talks about sort of the moral hazard that's infected the investment industry, the really high fees that mutual fund managers and fund companies are paid, but then they really don't have any downside for when they don't perform. He talks about sort of the disingenuous marketing machine of Wall Street and how it hypes IPOs, all of that kind of stuff that kind of permeates Wall Street. This book, Capitalist Lament, does a great job really categorizing it, and I think it's a little bit more digestible than some of the other books on this topic, and it's also packed full of kind of examples, and they're all quite contemporary examples. I think the book was published in October or 2016, very recently. Certainly was published in 2016. So a lot of the references are really timely and really relevant, and that makes the book a lot easier to not only understand but feel like that the lessons in here really matter. So if you're kind of looking for a critique of some of the ways that Wall Street operates, this book certainly does a good job hitting all of the highlights, and for that reason I'd recommend checking it out. The one thing I did like about this book in particular, though, is that the author is a decided capitalist. I think the criticisms in this book are all that much more compelling because they're made by someone who have by all accounts been wildly successful operating within this system, but then still has the wherewithal and the gall to turn around and objectively criticize, something that's he's been able to master. So, for that reason, I think, it speaks to the seriousness of the issues in this book. I would highly recommend checking it out for those reasons. I guess my one little complaint would be that, although there's a section at the end focused on, how can individual investors sort of circumvent and overcome these issues that are fleecing you and ruining America, it's still, the book really is a lament in the most part. I'd be interested to see another book by the same author with, expanding a little bit more on some of the solutions that are proposed, and a little bit more in terms of how investors can deal with this, and maybe even some structural reforms to the system. I'd be curious to see how those are floated out. It's I think that would maybe, just as a next step, make for some interesting reading. So I hope that gives you a good overview of A Capitalist's Lament by Leland Faust. If you want more information on this book, I encourage you to just hit the link right below this video. That'll take you through to stockideas.org. There's a much more in-depth book review there. And you can also click through on Amazon, read the reviews, and see if A Capitalist's Lament is the right finance book for you. So thanks very much for watching, and stay tuned. I'll be back at you soon with more book reviews. Thanks.